secondhand notes coming from the Next and New Dimensions, and we're happy to have them as well. So stick around. It's going to be a good evening. It's going to be fun. Remember, we're celebrating Grenada, the red, green, the yellow. 50 years, Terry. 50 years of independence. What a long journey it has been.
Absolutely, and we just want to make it clear that this is just the launch.
Yes.
The actual 50th year comes on the 7th of February next year.
2024.
But this is in recognition of the 50th year, and all the plans and programs will be unveiled this evening on the Carnage to share with the public all the activities that will occur. I understand that there will be activities in every
parish, communities as well, yes.
And so that is something exciting to look forward to. And all the other programs, for example, the logo and the theme.
Exactly.
Lots of exciting stuff to look forward to.
Exactly.
So for those of you who are driving on the buses, heading home, I hope you're just heading home for a short break and then come back to the Carnage, because there'll be a lot of excitement when the sun goes down.
Exactly. There's still time for you to get here. We're just getting started. There's lots more to come. We have performances later in the evening from people like Dash, Mr. Golden. We have Akeem in the lineup, and we're all looking forward to the official unveiling of the logo by Governor General Dame Cecile La Grenade. So you still have time to get down here to the Carnage. There's going to be a little bit of traffic, I can tell you from experience, but just bear with it and get here to join in the celebrations as we prepare for the launch of the 50th anniversary of Grenada's independence.
Well, you mentioned some of the artists who will be here. For those who are wizard lovers, then the wizard is going to be here also too.
Exactly. Once you talk independence, Wizard is one of the artists and the songs that come to mind as well.
Definitely, and people like Scholar will also be there.
Yes.
So you know there's going to be a lot of excitement. Akeem is going to be there. That's more excitement again.
Exactly.
So it's going to be a great evening.
Yes.
And as the sun goes down, I understand that there's going to be a great surprise for the general public.
Yes, there is.
Something is
brewing.
Probably light up the sky.
Just a taste of what we can expect as we continue the celebrations for the next 3-4 months. And there are also vendors here on the Carnage. I saw some vendors. There's an artist, some vendors with cosmetics as well. There are some preservatives on sale. So walk with a little cash and walk with your Grenadian spirit as we celebrate. So let's get ready now to join the Next and New Dimension, who's taking it away down there with some musical notes. We're on the Carnage for the launch of Grenada's 50th anniversary of independence. So feel free to join us online, feel free to join us on your televisions, and feel free to join us on the Carnage for all the excitement.
Well, just to say that the spirit on the Carnage is alive.
Yes.
And there are lots of spirits around that you can participate in. With responsibility, of course. And there are lots of food, barbecue. I can get that smell in the background.
Oh, yes. Oh,
lovely
yes.
Barbecue. I don't know if they put cinnamon on it or some kind of spices.
We'll taste it and get back to the public.
But it is smelling pretty good so far. And it's warming up. So the crowd is already looking pretty decent.
Oh, yes. A lot of them came here before I did.
Considering the fact that it is still pretty warm on the Carnage at this time, but the sun is going down, and then we would have this beautiful sunset behind us, and of course the beauty of the Carnage, as you can see on your screens. It's a wonderful afternoon, and we're looking forward to a great evening once the performances start. There's going to be the police band. They're going to be having a parade, so we look forward to that later on. So back to you, Blossom.
All right, and let's go back to the Next and New Dimension for some sweet steel pan music. Stay with us.
Great. Until later.
So I'm here with Liana Romain, and she is one of the young entrepreneurs here at the official launch of our 50th anniversary of independence, our Jubilee celebration. And your handicraft is carry we beyond traditions. And first, tell us, how do you feel to be a Grenadian at this time, knowingly that we're going to be celebrating 50 come 2024?
I think it's a time of reflection. It's definitely a time of celebration, and Jubilee, as the name suggests. I think it's a time to remember all of our heroes and the leaders who have shaped the way for us to be here today, and obviously a time for us to envision how we move forward as an island and as young people, as Grenadians. What does that really mean?
Speak to us now as a young entrepreneur. Tell us about the different bits of craft that we see you have here on display.
Okay, so as the name suggests, Carry We Beyond Traditions is really about enhancing our relationship with the diaspora, the African diaspora. The red, yellow, and green depicts for us our identity, but also as a country in Ethiopia, in Africa, it also represents freedom. And so we've chosen to establish the linkages between Grenada and Ethiopia and to really show what that means for us.
So apart from the actual key rings and so, just highlight some of the different pieces that you have here on display.
Okay, no problem. So we have handbands, we have keychains, we have earrings, we have dresses on African language, Amharic. We have bags, we have dresses that are going to be coming up, bags and different handbands.
And how long have you been in existence producing?
Not very long, probably 3 years.
Okay.
3 months, sorry.
3 months, and so far I've seen people come to your booth. What has the response been like?
Well, we're still actually setting up. You've caught us in the middle of trying to prepare, so we don't have everything up as yet, but we hope that once everything is up and we have more information to share, that there'll be more information to dialogue about.
Thank you so much. This is Carry We Beyond Tradition. It's a 3-month-old business here on display at the launch of our 50th Jubilee celebration. So I'm going to throw it back to Blossom just for a moment while we move along to another booth from some of our local entrepreneurs.
get it? 1, 2, 3, go out there. In the open. Just relax, just relax. Keep going. Get to bed. What's the next one? We got a little reggae. Just 1, 2. 3 times. Take 1, 2. Take your time. Take your time. Just play 2, Right? Right? I'll do the rest. Simon.
Okay, welcome back to all of you who are online looking at the activities which are taking place on the Carnage this afternoon for the official launch of Grenada's 50th year of independence. It's just a launch. And in that launch, the chairperson, who is Dr. Wendy Crawford, she will outline to you the plans for the celebrations of the 50th anniversary. Grenada's 50th anniversary comes up in a few months' time on the 7th of February 2024, when we will light the skies up and celebrate officially 50 years of independence. Well, earlier on you heard from Blossom Alexis, and right now with me is Mr. Richard Simon. He is going to be my co-host for a little while. So Richard, welcome.
Well, thank you, Terry. It's wonderful to be here this afternoon, and such a very historic occasion. After all, 50 years is a significant milestone by any measurement, and I think it's really important that we take the opportunity, grasp the opportunity to celebrate not just the occasion, but of course to understand the importance of 50 years in the development of any nation. Certainly in Grenada's case, we have seen a lot happen over the last 50 years, and hopefully we're on the route to celebrate better things, more expansion, more development, a greater input of our people over the next 50 years.
Absolutely so indeed. And we are located in a building known as Otway House. And that in itself is a historical building. There's a lot of history in this building right here on the Carnage. Anything that comes to mind?
Well, quite a few things. I mean, the Otway's House has been almost the central focus in a lot of events in Grenada over the years. I mean, dating back 73, 74, and all the issues of uprising and demonstrations and People's Parliament and all that happening then. The slaying of Morris Bishop's father was also took place in this very building, actually. And what I find it's such a, talking about the 50th anniversary, it is so important for us to address issues like those to our children. The younger generation who does not have a clue, who do not have a clue of where we are, the generations that have come before have lived through some stuff that even to today, some people find difficult to speak about, difficult to discuss. And I hope that at 50, as we begin the celebration this month into February, that we'll begin to understand that all those developments contributed to our growth and to our development. Whether they were negative or positive, we've learned from them. In fact, that's part of where we get this thinking that Grenada is a resilient people, because we've gone through so much and yet come out kind of better on each occasion.
Yes, indeed. And I think it's a moment for us to help educate the young people of Grenada. Because if we don't do it after 40 years and after 50 years of independence, you ask yourself, when is it going to happen? Yeah. Are we going to wait another 40 years, another 50 years? The education process must start at some point in time. And the resurgence of the teaching of Grenadian history in our schools, because we started many, many years ago in the 60s, and somehow it faded away. But now, with the determination of this new Prime Minister, Deacon Mitchell, he has made it a public confirmation that the teaching of Grenadian history shall commence in our nation once again. And congratulations for this, because if you do not know your past, you are likely to make the same mistakes.
Yep.
So, notwithstanding the fact that the events of October 19, which was quite traumatic, and there are still a lot of grieving families all over Grenada, we have to come to the realization that our young people need to understand what happened, so that when they get to the age of Morris Bishop or before, they would not make the same mistakes that occurred.
Yes.
And that is fundamental as we move forward toward the next 50 years.
It is so interesting that you said that, because part of who we are is what has happened to us.
Yep.
Part of our character, and I used the word earlier, resilience. Part of that resilience is what we've been through as a nation, and yet we've come through strong. It's very important that we don't look at or despise our history. And I think part of the reason why we have found ourselves not being able to teach Grenada's history is that there have been so many sides. We've become so polarized with various developments in our history that it's time for us to embrace our history. It's ours. We can't change it.
Yeah.
It's gone.
Yeah, it's gone.
And therefore, let's teach it in its proper sense. Put it in the proper context, and help the next generation to understand where we've come from, so where we're going will be a much better place, because it will be informed by the events that has happened to us before.
Yeah, well, it's a very bold and courageous move on the part of Prime Minister Deacon Mitchell. You know, no Prime Minister has touched this for 40 years.
Yes.
And he came on the scene as a new, young, vibrant Prime Minister and had the courage, the strength, and the tenacity, and the boldness to say to the Grenadian people, it is time for us to understand our history. It is time for the young kids in schools to understand where we came from. Notwithstanding, there's still a lot of pain and suffering, mentally, physically, and otherwise. Yeah. But we have to, at some point in time, celebrate the lives of those who went on.
Yeah, that's correct.
And not forget that they existed, but respectfully understand that those who are still hurting and want to hold on to the hurt, they have the freedom so to do.
Well, I hope that at this onset of the 50th anniversary celebration, that we recognize that those things that you're talking about, the hurt and the pain, part of our history.
Yep.
We must embrace that, not necessarily celebrate it, be somber about it, be solemn about it, understand that it is, you know, somebody said something to me about 4 years ago that stuck with me. Growth is never painless. Once there's growth, when a tree grows, it has to shed its bark, it has to expand, it has to burst at the seams, as it were. When a lizard grows, it changes its skin. Or a snake.
They call it growing pains.
Growing pains. And any nation will go through those growing pains. But now we're 50. We have to now take a hold of our own destiny, our own environment, and say, this is what we're going to do. This is how we're going to impact it. This is the changes we're going to make. And this is the contribution we're going to make to do it. Now, you mentioned Prime Minister's intervention. It is. I'm almost at a stage in my own development where I feel that we've come to another place in our history or in our development that speaks to us and our nationalism. That we don't have to depend on some outside influence to help us to develop. We don't have to depend on an outside influence to help us to understand that this land is ours and we must build it together. Yep. I get the sense that we are on the verge of beginning to recognize that each Grenadian, not 50% of us, 100% or as close to that number as possible, must get our hands to the plow to develop the country. Absolutely. And the Prime Minister has led the way from day one.
Absolutely, so indeed.
Yes, so I think that is a motivation factor for us right now.
That is absolutely critical, and the healing of the nation is critical as we move forward. And I think some of the actions that has been already taken, some of the plans and programs that have been put in place, it's all about healing. It's all about transforming one's mindset, transforming a nation, transforming what you do. And this is the direction in which we have to go. Nothing is perfect. Yes. There are going to be obvious mistakes along the way, but once the understanding as to where you want to get to, the road may be bumpy, it may be rugged, but you are on the right track toward that destination. and that is critical in the development of any nation.
Perfection is in a different place.
Oh yeah.
Perfection is really a spiritual arrangement.
Yep.
Perfection is not human. We are prone to mistakes. The important thing is when we make those mistakes and we fall, do we stay down? Or do we learn from them, get up and move on? You know, we were doing, I'm sure on Facebook, there's a lot of pictures of the Prime Minister touring government estates last Friday.
Oh yeah, I saw that.
It was a very interesting experience to hear the words of Deacon Mitchell as Prime Minister, talking about the importance of agriculture, talking about the importance of us getting back to the things that have developed us over the years. But it was even more amazing to see him walking through government estates and saying, we are not doing well in this estate. We went to Mount Rule. The workers at Mount Rule said, listen, the road is in such a dilapidated state that our vehicles cannot get to where we need to get the produce. He walked to where the workers go to harvest their produce to see for himself the extent of the damage that they were talking about. Because he, in his mind, he wanted to understand not just their words, but to feel their experiences as they did. And I was amazed by that. Several people who were on a tour who are not necessarily government officials, and I was not there in a government official capacity, saying it's amazing to see the Prime Minister taking the lead and leading by example in that regard.
Well, that is testament to the fact that he wants to put his feet on the ground and test the waters, and in this context, to test the mud, because I'm sure it was muddy out there.
Very muddy, yes.
So we are on the cusp of 50 years. And I was saying to Blossom earlier on, I recall very vividly our 25th anniversary, our silver anniversary. As a matter of fact, I was chairman of that committee then. And it was quite an experience indeed. And I said to myself, and I said to my creator, I would like to see the 50th anniversary, the golden. I've experienced the silver, I'd like to see the gold. And I'm saying to you now, from the gold, I would also now like to see the pearl. And funny enough, the pearl is the same name of my deceased wife.
Yes.
She would feel very happy to know that I have been able to witness the celebration of our pearl anniversary.
Well, I mean, even that, from the perspective of not just wanting to see it, but understanding that as we all grow through our generations, that we've all contributed to life on this rock, as we used to call it, but this lovely piece of real estate that God has given us in the Caribbean. And you have contributed to life on this rock. Every Grenadian would have put blood, sweat, and tears into the life of this rock. And 50 years is a good time to celebrate that, and to celebrate that it did not just happen by chance.
Absolutely.
Right? That there was what Sir Martin Gary would say, a divine architect. I remember those words quite well. He, of course, is the father of independence.
As a matter of fact, now that you have mentioned his name, I recall very much that when we had the occasion, I think it was 1967, Easter Water Parade.
Yes.
There was sand trucked in and dumped right on the carronage here.
Yes.
In order to create that atmosphere of a beach style condition.
And some of it still remains, not as much today.
I mean, give Sir Eric his credits. He was quite a visionary of his time. Quite a visionary. I recall also too, at one point in time when he went to the United Nations, he addressed the UN and made a statement to the UN that UFOs are visiting our planet. And he was laughed at.
Yes.
Today, that reality was known a long, long time ago. Maybe even when he made the statement, it was known. But it was kept secret for quite a long time. How interesting would that be as we move into the next century?
Yes.
And now with AI technology, with AI, you don't know where this thing is heading to. But it's all embracing, and we got to embrace it. Our young folks, they got to get used to it and come to the realization that this is the new life that they would have to live on this piece of rock and other rocks throughout.
But it has taught us a lesson, though, because to a great extent, what we have been able to do on the negative side is to vilify each other to the point where contributions are diminished. Without recognizing that we have differences, there's no question about that, but there's a time for us to celebrate our sameness, the things we believe in, the things that has contributed to who we are.
Yep.
And Grenada, 50 years, over that period, we must now embrace who we are as a people. We can no longer claim to not know who we are. We are 50 years old.
Yep.
If at 50 years old you don't know who you are, something is wrong with that.
Oh, absolutely so indeed.
Yes.
And I would like to, and I'm sure that when the chairperson, Dr. Wendy Crawford, speaks, I hope that there will be some announcement of something really significant, or maybe she might be leaving it for the 7th of February, when is the actual Independence Day. But it's heartening to know that there will be a whole year of celebrations in every parish. So once that is promoted, folks, Grenadians can say, you know what, I'm coming for the St. Patrick celebration,
Yes.
or the St. George celebration,
Absolutely.
or the St. Andrew celebration.
Absolutely.
As the case may be. That, I think, would be really, really exciting. And Grenadians throughout, locally and abroad, can now plan in advance of what they intend to do in order to be part of the celebrations to mark the 50th year of independence. What a golden jubilee it is.
Looking forward to that. I think it's so important. I'd like to also acknowledge the work of people like the government of Grenada for recognizing the importance of the Grenadian diaspora. It's amazing when you go out into New York or Boston or London, the way Grenadians feel about each other.
Very
The way
passionate.
Grenadians feel about home.
Very
And
passionate.
we really look forward to them celebrating that with us.
As a matter of fact, I have come to the definite conclusion that Grenadians are more Grenadian
Outside of Grenada.
when they're outside of Grenada. They get more passionate,
I agree.
and they're on the lookout for one another.
I agree.
Matter of fact, a non-Grenadian, the last time I was abroad, said to me, Grenadians bad for one another out here, you know.
Yes.
But locally,
At
it
home.
seems to be a different...
It's home, man. It's home. It's home. What could I say?
No, that's terrific. That is fantastic indeed. And now we have a new diaspora developing. These are Grenadians whom have invested in Grenada, non-Grenadians who have become citizens
Yes.
of Grenada.
Yes.
So it's a new diaspora that we are developing throughout the world.
Yes.
In London, in Beijing, in several other countries. So we got to embrace them.
We have to embrace them, and one of the things that we're going to talk about that later on. But I think as we celebrate today's event, and we look around us, we're seeing a number of people here. Some who have come in actually, some who are on holiday, who've come in from diaspora. But we're seeing a good mix of Grenadians down here at the Carnage.
Yeah.
And we're inviting you, if you're at home and you're online with us, on your phone or on your TV or wherever you are, come down to the Carnage, man. Hop the bus, come down. It's a real celebratory event, and we're seeing a good mixture of youth, middle-aged, age. Everybody's coming down to be part of the celebration.
Yes, definitely, and the crowd is certainly swelling.
Yes.
Out here, it's looking, larger and larger, and that's great. That's great. Just remember, for those folks who are at home, the committee has given a commitment. You get here, we'll make sure you get back home.
Yes.
The Bus Association has also collaborated with the committee to say, once there are folks here, we are going to extend the hours this afternoon into the evening.
That's excellent.
To make sure that the public has adequate transport to get back wherever they came
That's
from.
excellent. So Terry, I think we have one of our roving reporters on the ground. Sherry Ann is in there
Great.
somewhere.
Okay.
And I think she's about to join us to give us some information. She's walking around talking to persons in the booths and so on.
Fantastic.
So let's go to
Shall we
Sherry
take a
Ann.
break?
She's not yet ready for us. She's not yet ready for us, I was told. But I'm just interesting in seeing how, as we prepare for this magnificent time in Grenada's history, that we can share with the world. I'm seeing a couple of visitors standing on the periphery looking in.
Yes, indeed.
And the atmosphere is going to be really wonderful later from her now later on, and we do invite you to come down to the Carnage.
But what a beautiful backdrop we have been afforded.
Absolutely.
And those online can appreciate, especially the Grenadians online, but others, friends of Grenada, can enjoy the beauty of Grenada with this backdrop. It's one of the most beautiful harbors in the entire Caribbean.
Yes. Picturesque.
It is so picturesque.
Absolutely.
And as the sun is now going down, you can see the sunlight basically just, you have this kaleidoscope of colors against the buildings with the orange and the red and the green and the yellow and so forth all over the place. It really is very enchanting indeed. It's almost like a picture moment.
It is a picture moment.
Yeah, it is a picture moment.
I think,
And,
listen, in the earlier on in the day, it was hot and kind of steamy, and it's been like that for a couple of months now. We've been going through that, but it's cooling off, and the effect of the sun on the greenery, on the buildings, is just so spectacular. If you're looking at that on TV, you could not help but say, "Beautiful Grenada."
and I'm coming home.
Well, please go. Oh, yes.
Absolutely,
Yes.
so indeed. But I understand later on in the evening, as the sunlight turns into sunset, there's going to be some magic taking place. And
I'm looking forward to that, man.
You got to be down here for this magic.
I am looking
Whatever
forward
the
to that.
magic is going to be, you got to be here to celebrate this magic. There's a lot of food vendors and spiritual vendors around,
Yeah.
serving up spirits, liquid spirits. And talking about spirits, the general spirit of the afternoon is very welcoming, very warming.
Yes.
As we
Yes.
look at Grenadians and friends of Grenada just enjoy the atmosphere and enjoying one another and engaging in conversations and just being a beautiful afternoon of celebration.
I'm very interested in the fact that we've seen a number of media houses teaming up together to make give the event some meaning.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So that no one can be left out
Yeah.
of what we do here this afternoon. I see, in fact, one of the schools, I think it might be Green Street Primary or one of them, with their students, the little ones, down here earlier on. They had them sit down by the pan, just taking in the atmosphere.
Well,
And that is so enriching,
That is
because
so
now the
important.
children are having an experience of Grenada
Yeah.
that they may have never had before in their lives.
well, as a matter of fact, they'll be able to say in 25 years from now,
I was there.
I was at the Golden Jubilee launch
Yes.
of the 50th celebration.
And the way the technology works now, they might see themselves in the pictures as well.
Well, oh yes,
There
of
we are.
course, of course.
There we are.
Matter of fact, some of them might say, well, I ain't look much older after 25 years. Because when I look back, Ricardo, who is the producer of the show here this evening, today, he showed me, he said, let me show you something. And went back on the video to show when I made my inaugural speech on the 25th anniversary. I said, Ricardo, that's me. He said, yeah, that's you. I said, but I ain't changed too much.
It does give you a moment to reflect, you know what I mean?
Oh,
And
absolutely.
it
It's
is
great reflection.
Such a wonderful...
As a matter of fact, the show at that time, he was the producer,
Right.
and it was entitled Reflections. And it was really quite a bumper success. Congratulations to Ricardo. He continues to do great things
Yes.
in Grenada. And as you know, he has written a few children books.
Correct.
And he is one of Grenada's icons.
Yes, indeed.
Yeah, one of
indeed.
Grenada's icons.
Making a mark on the international market as well.
Oh
not
yeah,
just in Grenada.
oh yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
I think later on we're going to be seeing the police march.
Yes.
That's going to be coming out from the fire
Carnage.
station. They probably might do so just before the 6:30 start
Yes.
of the real action taking place. And we're going to have people like Wizard and Scholar and Dash
Yeah.
and several others performing here this evening.
So several generations, eh?
Yep.
Because Wizard is one generation, that should be a totally different place.
Yeah, definitely. So there are lots of cultural presentations that will take place, and Mr. Duncan, what's his name? Richard?
No, not Richard.
That's another one.
His name
Richard
is
DBI. Yeah. Anyhow, yes.
I don't, his
Yeah.
name just left.
Yeah,
I
that's
hope
all right.
I hope I'm not dating myself.
No. No, he would do the the emceeing
Master
for
service
those
production, yes.
who will be offering up their acts and so
Yes.
forth. So it's a long lineup. So come on down. It's still early. Still early.
But I also want to recognize too the importance of and the growth of the police band over the years and the contribution they have made to our music, to our culture over the years. People say they pay to do what they do. Yeah, that might be true, but it takes dedication and effort to actually every day practice on your instrument.
Yep.
I played trumpet for a while. I have no idea when last I touched a trumpet
Yeah.
because I have not had the dedication to that.
Yeah.
But these guys
a
have
lot.
day in, day out, have worked hard on their music, have improved their music. People like Brian Hurst and so on who've gone before.
Yeah. Brian is in New York now.
Yes.
Yeah, but he
there
has
was
done.
one of the first bandmasters I remember was a guy used to call Uncle Leo. Uncle Leo was from Lavery. And he made a significant contribution to Grenada's music scene as well.
Fantastic. Well, I see Blossom is back up. Maybe we can pull her in and find out what's happening on the ground, how
Yes.
it was going, and so forth. So come on down, Blossom. I know that you have been. I know that you were on the ground and you were kind of going from booth to booth and engaging the general public. How was it down there?
It was fine down there. Some of the vendors, they are getting people coming to their tables. I've seen some people purchasing some of the things, so it's been worthwhile for the vendors so far. And there are other people milling about. There are people still dancing to the music. Everybody's excited to be here so far. I haven't seen one face that looks bored. So that tells me that everybody's anxious and excited for this Jubilee celebration.
Fantastic. And the weather is holding out so beautifully.
Oh yes, from the rains yesterday, I was a bit scared for today.
I was a little bit worried.
And according to the weather, there's more rain to come this week. But God has shown favor. As they say, God is a Grenadian. And he showed it today because we have beautiful sunshine outside. But I think from tomorrow, please the Lord, we'll get more rains outside.
Yeah, definitely. And I was saying to Richard earlier on, the backdrop here is probably the best you can even dream of anywhere, any part of the world.
I caught part of the broadcast on the television, and just the backdrop behind the both of you is so beautiful. And the Carnage has really earned its title of being picturesque. And it showed that tonight, especially with the sunset going on. And you can see the sun setting on the houses on H.A. Blaze Street and Sanssouci and so on. So it's very beautiful. Grenada, if you haven't been, this is your opportunity. Use our 50th celebration as an excuse to come to Grenada because it really is beautiful, as you can see behind me.
Well, as a matter of fact, they can do it for the next 12 months.
Oh yes. And as long as they can afford it, feel free to come here. We are warm.
Come every month.
Every month. Feel free.
Come every month and celebrate.
Exactly.
Absolutely. But the Carnage, I have always made the comment that we should be utilizing the Carnage a whole lot more.
Agreed.
If we can have flotillas on the Carnage, we can have all our carnival events with this backdrop. That alone will sell Grenada rather than in the stadium.
I think
the stadium is great, but having this backdrop is a natural sell for carnival and all activities. Just load up flotillas there, and you're good to go.
It's a space I think we underutilize
Yeah.
because in addition to being picturesque, there's so many opportunities to earn. Like you said, you set up flotillas, you can set up a booth maybe every last Saturday. You have just how you lock off the street here today,
Yeah.
you lock it off and you just have, well, Guam has Fish Friday, St. Mark has the sunset activity, so you can have it here at Carnage, I don't know, Carnage Fiesta or something, but it's a place that we can utilize, and the lights that they've erected to shine tonight, we can also use that and capitalize on the beauty of that as well.
Well,
I am also getting the signal that Sherry is ready, guys.
okay.
So let's go down to Sherry, and she is with some of the vendors on the Carnage as we continue to celebrate, or we get ready for the launch of 50th anniversary of celebrations.
Okay, well, we're just taking the DJ until they're ready for us again, Richard. Thank
Yes,
you very
indeed.
much,
Yes,
and
indeed.
Blossom, thank you for popping in.
Karen,
And let's see how the...
National from Fontenoy. I just want to have your thoughts on this event that would mark the launch of our Jubilee celebration.
Well, this is beautiful. My father has always told me about it. His name is Oliver Pilgrim. He's from Guam, but we live in Fontenoy. And this is amazing because it's everything Grenada. I've always heard everything nice and spice, but this is everything Grenada. The vendors are amazing. I got to see New Dimension, the pan, and just the vibe here is amazing. I love it. Grenada's everything.
And how proud are you, though?
I'm so proud because I grew up in Brooklyn, New York, and when you go to Labor Day, you see Trinidad, which my mother's from, and you see Grenada, but to be here and feel the vibe and feel the, the energy here, it's amazing, and I'm looking forward to everything that's going on here. All the new changes, all the creatives that are out, amazing.
So what do you say to your friends in the diaspora? What do you say to your friends in the diaspora?
My friends, they always say, what are you doing over there? There's everything to do. If you search for it, you get yoga, you get sip and paint, you get wine tasting, you get roti, you get everything. So it's really amazing to be here because I get the beach every day. I get 90 degrees. Everybody's dealing with the winter. I'm here on the Carnage enjoying Grenadians and all the arts and crafts that are here.
Thank you so much. That was one of our returning nationals, and she's happy to be a part of the launch of our 50th Jubilee celebrations. We are going to move a little further on now to some of the booths to showcase what local arts and craft is here, all part of this big celebration. Blossom?
Speaking of the land, there's much to mention as to the way we live and cope with tradition. We have no segregation here.
That's right.
Harmony is all we care.
All right.
This is land of class. I say we're unsurpassed. Overwhelmingly glad we are to be of our country.
Country.
Foreigners have recommended it highly. Hand in hand for a better land of people who can understand that that's business brighter out of darkness. Like all other places, we have problems, but when they come, we help to solve them, internally or otherwise, whichever way we think is wise. Oh, sweet spice land, good natured Grenadians, overwhelmingly glad we ought to be of our country. Foreigners have recommended it highly. Hand in hand for a better land of people who can understand that that's business brighter out of darkness. Years as we march on for progress, hoping everyone will do his best. It is the only way we can to build the morals of this land, so that we can show we are slow but sure. Overwhelmingly glad we are to be of our country. Foreigners have recommended it highly. Hand in hand for a better land of people who can understand that
Okay, good afternoon again. We are live from the Carnage in St. George's. We're actually just off the pedestrian plaza. If you're in St. George's, and wherever you are in Grenada, if you're looking at us on screen, please come down and join us. We're going to be here till at least 9 o'clock this evening.
At least, yes. And looking at this schedule, it's not going to be no boring show, as we say locally.
Yes.
We have lots in store, including appearances and addresses from Governor General Dame Cecile Grenada. Prime Minister Deacon Mitchell is also expected to be here.
Yes.
We have some musical performances geared up. We have folk group to perform, and so we have a lot in store. And of course, a little later, we're going to get into what I call the hyper music with performances from the likes of Dash, Akeem, Black Wizard will be here as well, Scholar, representing the style of Carrico and Petit Martinique. Mr. Golden will be here as well. So we have lots in store for you. Speaking of the music, Richard, it is timeless. That's one of the adjectives I use to describe Grenadian music, especially the songs that I've written about Grenada that we play time and time again for independence, but they never seem to get old.
Well, that is absolutely true. I think every year there's a sense of it renews a sense of patriotism in us. The I Love Grenadas and the other songs that are written specifically for people's love of Grenada.
Correct.
And I think that is what kind of motivates us in the context of those songs, because they're written out of a sense of meaning, a sense of understanding. So I think at this point we have Sherry on with us.
Yes.
And she's downstairs. Hey, my good friend Aileen Gooden.
With me now, I am joined by another proud Grenadian, another proud returning national alien. Speak to us about Grenada, you as a Grenadian, and being here to witness this very important launch. I'll hold it to you.
Thank you, Cherry. It is great to be back home, and I would trade this for nothing. Grenada is my heart. Grenada is my home. And I wasn't expecting to be here for this, but it's awesome to be here. And I have to say that as a Grenadian living overseas, that there's a lot of excitement in the diaspora about the 50th anniversary. I mean, there are massive plans of plane loads of people coming down. A lot of my friends are going to be here. So everybody's pretty excited. We're very proud. We're proud of our country and what we have accomplished over the years. So I think it's fabulous. I mean, it's like, oh my God, I'm home and there's all this happening. It's just super, super, super good. It's good to be here.
Thank you very much. There you heard it. That's one of our proud Grenadians to be a part of the launch of our 50th Jubilee Independence celebrations. We now head back to Blossom.
Thank you very much, Sherry. It's time now for us to take in some of the performances on stage. We have one of our local folk groups performing a traditional piece, so let's just take in a little bit of the stage performance.
Aïe, 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 danse belle, danse belle, danse belle. Aïe, 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 danse belle, danse belle, oh, danse belle, oh. Là we danse belle, oh, we go danse belle, oh. Danse belle, danse belle. Aïe, 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 danse belle, danse belle, danse belle. Aïe, 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 danse belle, danse belle, oh, danse belle, oh. Let we danse belle, oh, we go danse belle, oh. Belle drama roll. Belle drama roll. Anna Mario. Girl, you don't Belle drama Anna Mario, girl, you don't hear the belle drama roll. Anna Mario, girl, you don't hear the belle drama roll. More belle for conception, more belle for conception, more belle drama roll, belle drama roll. Anna Mario, girl, you don't hear the belle drama roll. Anna Mario, girl, you don't hear the belle drama roll. More belle for conception, more belle for conception, more belle drama
was conception dancers doing one of our traditional dances. I mean, in a way, the faces have changed, but the dancers have not changed. They've historically been pure
But there is one face that remains constant, the great Keith Williams. Anyway, you say dance, you say Keith. Always a pleasure to see him. He deserves his flowers.
Yes, I agree.
He has been consistent, and I'm always happy to see him on stage. He enjoys himself. So big up the Conception Dance Group.
And I have to also point out to Venezuela Grenada drummers.
Yes,
they have been around for a long time.
Indeed.
Consistently contributing to Grenada's dances like these ones.
Exactly, and even with the older ones, slowly fading out, I see folks like Lion Paw coming through. So I'm always happy when I see the younger generation taking over and continuing our traditions here in Grenada. So I'm happy to see the new faces and younger faces as well in the lineup.
Well, we also have to pay tribute to the fact that over the last 50 years, there's a number of individuals and groups who've been contributing to Grenada's cultural landscape, and I can think of people like Moss International. I saw one former member here back in the day. People like Agnes Forrest and so on singing. People like Aiden Slinger, and there's a group called Tabernacle back in the day as well that contributed to the gospel scene. So there's been a lot of individuals and groups and organizations that have contributed to Grenada's cultural landscape over the years.
Consistently. You don't hear about them as often as you used to, but they're still around. And every now and then you hear they're hosting a concert or so.
Yeah.
I believe, what's their name? Not Youthquake, no. One of the older groups with Mr. Ramdani at the helm. They had a concert a few years ago. So every now and then they resurface, for lack of a better word, but it's always a joy.
Yes.
It's always a joy to see the traditions being kept up.
Well, you talk about Youthquake. Only recently, Elsia Ferguson, who led Youthquake for a number of years, was laid to rest. She clearly has made a very valuable contribution to Grenadian folk music generally. People like Elsia contributed to the National Performing Group, which is the group we're going to see next on stage here on the Carnage. And again, we want to use the opportunity to say, if you're at home and you're looking on television, hey, come down. The crowd is growing, as you can see, and we're hoping that that by the time the surprise comes tonight, and there's a massive surprise I was told that will be happening here this evening later, and I hope that you'll come down, get in your car, share cars, carpool, whatever you need to do.
Take a bus if so be it.
Because I understand as well that the organizers have said they are working with the bus association to make sure nobody gets stranded if there are people down here tonight. So the buses will run as late as necessary to get people back home.
That's a good plan, because I know that's always a concern of people who live in the outer parishes. By the time 6 o'clock or when the sun sets, there aren't any buses on the roads for some communities and parishes. But arrangements have been put in place, so you can rest assured that there would be buses on the roads as late as necessary, and you can always get a ride. We are not people who would refuse you a ride.
Of course.
So if we see you, as we say, bombing right on the road, rest assured you would get a lift from someone if perchance there isn't a bus on the road. But nevertheless, come down and enjoy. Things are just picking up, just starting here on the Carana, so there's still time to get here and enjoy the festivities.
Well, we were talking about Youthquake and Elsie Ferguson and so on, and we just saw one of the persons who's been an icon in Grenada's music.
Exactly.
In every school in Grenada over the years, every arts festival. I mean, she has really contributed in a significant way to our cultural environment, Miss Ramdani.
Yes.
Lauren Ramdani, out of St. Andrews, and she has been consistent. She has given yeoman service, and we applaud her for that. I see her in a uniform, which means that she's going to perform.
She's going to perform, exactly. She's always given back in that way, and I can appreciate that.
Sorry, I understand there's a new song that she will direct the choir with tonight that was written for Grenada's 50th anniversary of independence.
Really? Well, I'm looking forward to that.
Yes, I was told that earlier this evening, so we're looking forward. It was written by one of the Charles brothers.
Okay.
Leon, I think. is the name that was given to me. I think Leon wrote it. So, and she will be directing it
Oh, well, I'm looking forward to that. Ms. Ramdani has always been one of the people you can depend on to come through with a good direction when it comes to singing and choir. I remember her being one of my choir teachers when I was in primary school, St. George's Anglican Junior and Senior School, aka Heinzie. Big up Mr. DeGale all day, every day. But Mr. Ramdani has always been there, and I'm happy to see that years later she's still giving back in that way, because I'm sure she has lots more to contribute.
And she enjoys it, you know. It's not something that's a work for her, you know. She enjoys that. So
and she always has a smile on her face.
I remember back in the day when we had Grenada Arts Festival, and Arts Festival was put on by the Department of Culture, and she was a part of the department at the time.
Right.
And she would travel the length and breadth of Grenada, teaching music, teaching the schools, the choirs, teaching the choir song, the test pieces, the individual test pieces. It was just an amazing amount of work, but at the end of the day, the product was just amazingly spectacular. In fact, I remember there was at the end of, I think it may have been around 1981 or 82. No, I'm dating myself.
Yeah, I was about to say that you're dating yourself.
This is not good.
Oh, let me date myself now. I wasn't even born yet.
Whoa, okay, Richard. So you were told there, boy. I remember there was I think it was 1982 when there was a dome. I don't know how many people remember that. Right where the Radisson is now. There's a massive circular building, and the finals of the event was held there. I remember the entire cabinet, Maurice Bishop and his entire cabinet, attending that final. Okay. At that. It was just a spectacular event. So it gave you a chance as a student, as a young man, a young woman, a young choir from a school, having a sense of urgency and anticipation to perform at this particular national event. Yeah.
I remember Arts Festival. I was a part.
The Grenlec Debates. Power, bright ideas.
This is the 2023 edition of the Grenlec Debates. Welcome. As we enter the third round of competition, the quarterfinals, we invite you to sit back, relax, and watch our debaters explore ideas and think on their feet. Please bear in mind that these debates are impromptu. The students are given the broad theme to research prior to the match. Then, on match day, they randomly select their motions and are given 30 minutes to prepare their presentation without assistance from their teachers or electronic channels. The theme for this round, artificial intelligence. The areas of focus, AI in the classroom and AI in society. I am Kunta Kinte Andal, your chairperson and a proud former Grenlec debater, and I call this house to order. This match is between Westmoreland Secondary School and the Anglican High School. The motion is, be it resolved that AI tools should be integrated into the classroom. For the proposition, we have Westmoreland Secondary School, and the opposition, Anglican High School.
Ladies and gentlemen, esteemed judges, my worthy opponents, good afternoon all. I stand before you today as the first speaker of the proposition team to discuss the crucial topic at hand. Be it resolved that AI tools should be integrated in the classroom. Our team firmly stands for this moot. In the next few minutes, I will present our main arguments to support this proposition. Our second speaker will explain and expound on the matter at hand, and our rebuttal rebuttal speaker will summarize our points and rebut the outrageous claims made by the opposition. I will now define the key terms according to Demuth. According to Oxford Study Dictionary, a tool is a thing used for a particular purpose or a device in the hand in a machine for performing a particular function. According to www.britannica.com, artificial intelligence, AI, is the ability of a computer or a robot controlled by a computer to do tasks that are usually done by humans and require intelligence and discernment. Classroom, according to Oxford Dictionary, refers to a room typically in a school in which a class of students is taught. Integrate, according to Oxford Language, to make parts into a whole, to combine parts. Let us examine our main point. Personalize instruction according to each student. It is a well-known fact that AI has become dominant in education and in the classroom. AI has become a new technology that will be majorly beneficial to students and teachers in the classroom. According to www.prenture.com, 62% of all student respondents have used AI technologies. Students agree that AI technologies help them better understand material,